आज कौन सी चिट्ठा treat me. Evening chanting, page 14 in the book. Yo so bhagava arhan samma sambuddho svakato ye na bhagavata dhammo supatipanno yasya bhagavato savak sangho tamayam bhagavanta sadhammam sangham imehi sakari yathar aropitehi abhipujaya sadhuno bhante Bhagava suchirapa niputopi pachima janata nukampa manasa imi sakari dugat panaka prabhute patiganatu amhakam digharatam hitaya sukhaya arham sama sambuddho bhagava buddham bhagavanta abhivade swakato bhagavata dhammo dhammam namasam supatipanno bhagavato savak sangho sangham Andmayam buddhassa bhagavato उभभाग नमकारं करोमसि। नमो तस् भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स। नमो तस् भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स। नमो तस् भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स। अन्मयं बुद्धानुसतिनयं करोमसि। तं कोपन भगवन्तम् एवं कल्याणो इतिसद्दो अभुगतो। इति पिसो भगवा अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो। विद्याचरण संपन्नो सुगतो लोकविदु। अनुत्तरो पुरुषधम्मस् रथि सत्ता देवमनुस्सानं बुद्धो भगवाति। अन्मयं बुद्धाभिगीतिं करोमसि। बुद्धवारहन्तवरता द्विगुणाभियुतो। शुद्धाभिज्ञानकरुणा समागततो। बोधिसियो सुजनता कमलं वसुरो। वन्दामहं तमरणं शिरसा जिनेन्दम्। बुद्धो यो सर्वपाणिनं शरणं खेममुत्तमम्। पठमानुसतिष्ठानं वन्दामि तं शिरेणहम्। बुद्धस्मि दासीव बुद्धो मे सामितिस्सरो। बुद्धस्सहं नियादीमि शरीरं जीवितं चिदम्। वन्दन्ति यं चरिष्यां धम्मस्यैव सुबोधिकम्। नत्ति मे शरणम् अन्यं धम्मो मे शरणं वरम्। एतेन सज्जवज्जेन वर्धेयं सतु शासने। बुद्धं मे वन्दमानाय यं पुण्यं प्रसुतम् इद। सभ्येऽपि अन्तराय मे माहेषु अस्य तेजसा। अन्मयं धम्मानुसतिनयं करोमसि। स्वाकातो भगवता धम्मो सन्दिट्ठिको अकालिको। एहि पस्सिको ओपनयिको पश्चात् वेदितव्यो विनियोहीति। अन्मयं धम्माभिगीतिं करोमसि। स्वाखाततादिगुणयोगवशेन सेयो। यो मग्गपाकपरियतिविमोखभेदो। धम्मोऽकुलोकपतना तदधारी। वन्दामहं तमरं वरधम्ममेतं। धम्मो यो सर्वपाणिनं शरणं खेममुत्तमम्। द्वितीयानुसतिष्ठानं वन्दामि तं शिरेणहम्। धम्मस्मि दासीव धम्मो मे सामिति सरो धम्मसहं नियादीनि शरीरं जीवितं चिदं वन्दन्ति यं चरिस्सानि धम्मस्यैव सुधम्मतम् नत्ति मे शरणम् अन्यं धम्मो मे शरणं वरम् एतेन सत्यवज्रेण वड्ढेयं सत्तु शासने धम्मं मे वन्दमान यं पुण्यं प्रसुतम् इद सब्बेऽपि अन्तराय मे माहेषु तस्य तेजसा हान्दमयं सङ्घानुसतिनयं करोमसि सुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावकसङ्घो उजुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावकसङ्घो न्यायपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावकसङ्घो सामीचिपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावकसङ्घो यदिदं चत्तारि पुरुषयुगानि अष्टपुरुषपुद्गला एष भगवतो सावकसङ्घो आहुनेयो पाहुने दक्षिणेयो अञ्जलिकरणीयो अनुत्तरं पुण्यकेतं लोकसाति हान्दमयं सङ्गाभिगीतिं करोमसि सधम्मजो सुपटिपतिगुणादियुतो यो अट्टविदो अरियपुगलसङ्घसेठो शीलादिधम्मपवरा सयकाय चेत्तो वन्दामहं तमरि गणं सुशुद्धं सङ्घो यो सबपाणिनं शरणं खेममुत्तमम् ततीयानुसतिष्ठानं वन्दामि तं शिरेऽहं सङ्घस्सास्मि दासीव सङ्घो मे सामिकीश्वरो सङ्घसहं नियादीनि शरीरं जीवितं चिदम् वन्दन्त्यहं चरिष्यामि सङ्घसोपटिपन्नतं नास्ति मे शरणम् अन्यं सङ्घो मे शरणं वरम् एतेन सत्यवज्रेण वड्ढेयं सत्तु शासने सङ्घं मे वन्दमानाय यं पुण्यं प्रसुतम् इद सब्बेऽपि अन्तरायामि माहेषु तस्य तेजसा
हम जय मंगल अट्ठ गाथा सुनेंगे।
जय मंगल अट्ठगाथा पेज 133 हिंदी चैंटिंग बुक।
सहस्रमभिनिमित सायुधन्तम् गिरिमेखलमुदित घोरससेनमारम् दानादिदं विधिना जितवामुनीन्दो तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि मारातिरेकमभियुज्जित सत्परतिम् घोरं पनालवकमक्ख मतद्धयखम् खन्ते सुदन्त विधिना जितवामुनीन्दो तं तेजसा भुवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि नालागिरि गजवरम् अतिमत्तभूतम् दावर्गिचक्रमसनीव सुदारुणन्तम् मेत्तम्बुसेक विधिना जितवामुनीन्दो तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि उक्खिप्तखड्गमतिहत्थ सुदारुणन्तम् धावन्ति योजन पथङ्गुलिमालवन्तम् इद्धिविसङ्खत मनोजितवामुनीन्दो तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि कत्वानुकट्ठ मुदरम् इव गब्धिनीया चिञ्चाय दुःखवचनम् जनकाय मर्जे सन्तेन सोमविधिना जितवामुनीन्दो तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि सच्चं विहाय मतिसच्चकवादकेतम् वादाभिरोपितमनम् अति अन्धभूतम् पञ्ज्ञापदीप जलितो जितवामुनीन्दो तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि नन्दोपनन्दभुजगम् विभुदम् महीब्धिम् पुत्तेन थेरभुजगेन दमापयन्तो इद्धूपदेश विधिना जितवामुनीन्दो तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि दुग्गाहदिद्धि भुजगेन सुदक्षहत्थम् ब्रह्मं विशुद्धि ज्युतिमेद्धि बकाभिधानम् मागधेन विधिना जितवामुनीन्द्रो तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि ये तापि बुद्ध जयमङ्गल अट्ठगाथा यो वाचको दिने दिने सरते मसन्ति हित्वाननेक विविधानि चुपब्धवानि मोक्षम् सुखम् अधिगमेय नरो सपञ्यो
तेल लगोगे ना
We will now listen to a discourse by Ajahn Amaro, Appreciation of Uncertainty. It was given last month in the winter retreat in Amravati Monastery.
मतलब क्या है appreciation
Uncertainty, अनिश्चितता.
appreciation क्या है
वो भी एक जीवन का पार्ट है ना हमारा, उसको समझना चाहिए हमको. Appreciation मतलब उसको ठीक से समझना.
appreciate तो नहीं करना है ना,
Appreciate भी करना चाहिए, है प्रकृति का नियम है. Appreciate करना एक ही मतलब नहीं है.
सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्सा नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्सा नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्सा बुद्धं धम्मं संघं नमस्सामि. As I'm sure everyone is aware, the population of people around the world right now are very concerned about this epidemic, the COVID-19 coronavirus, and the various different countries where the cases of that are arising, in China in particular, with other countries around the world, South Korea and Iran, Italy, and so forth. And the measures being taken to help it to be prevented from spreading and to take care of it and so forth. So it seems like it's a good opportunity to consider the impact that has upon us, how we experience that knowledge or that this situation ourselves, and how the mind relates to that, and how we can most skillfully develop our practice in relationship to this. Picking up on the news and conversations, and to see the general feeling around the planet, then there's naturally the first thing that one is aware of is fear. There's a lot of fear, and so that I feel is probably a good place to start with exploring this whole area, that we feel afraid and intimidated. There's a sense of deep uncertainty, threat, and so just to look at the nature of fear and how that works in our lives, and how it fits into the Buddha's teaching. Now, fear is one of what is called the four agati, or four biases, so that you have raga or passion desire, dosa, aversion, moha, delusion, and bhaya, fear. So in quite a number of lists and places, those four get mentioned together. The first three, raga, dosa, moha, or lobha, dosa, moha, greed, hatred, delusion, or passion, hatred, delusion, they're known as the three unwholesome roots, the akusala mula. But bhaya, fear, often gets tagged on as well, and that's called an agati, or a bias. So we easily think of fear as something that is bad or as a corruption, and it's something intrinsically unwholesome, but I feel that it's got that sometimes included, sometimes not included character for a very particular reason. The word agati means a bias. So if the mind is strongly affected by passion, by aversion, by delusion, or by fear, then it won't be seeing things clearly. It will be tend to be in a reactive state. It'll be subject to distorted perceptions, and those are all states which bring suffering along with them of various kinds. But you don't, as far as I know, you don't get fear named as an unwholesome root. It's not like the other three in terms of being something that's intrinsically unwholesome or destructive. So it's good to look at that and why that might be. So fear is a painful state. It's unpleasant. But it's important to recognize that's how it works. Fear is supposed to be unpleasant. It's a painful emotional state that helps you to get away from the place that's where the danger is. That's why fear is unpleasant. If there was danger and we felt great, then we would not get out of the way of the advancing train on the tracks, or we wouldn't get out of the way of the saber-toothed tiger that's about to jump on us. We would not want to get back from the edge of the cliff. We'd feel happier and happier the closer we got to the cliff edge, and it's not the way it works. Those of our ancestors, or those generations who went before us, those who didn't have much fear or had no fear, they're the ones that didn't have many children or any children. They didn't make it because they were damaged. They got ill. They didn't stay away from the dangerous situations. They didn't treat those injuries. They didn't get away from those threatening situations. So we have developed the instinct of fear as a protection. It's unpleasant, but that's how it works. It's supposed to be unpleasant, just like physical pain. That's how we protect the body, is because when you've injured yourself and you have a bruise or a cut and an infection, it's tender. You want to keep things away from it. You want to protect it. You look after it, because if you don't, then the infection will get worse. It won't be able to heal properly, and the infection can spread easily through the body, and that'll kill you. So just like physical pain, it works by being unpleasant. That's its job. It's not a defilement. It's not a problem. It's a protection. So fear is exactly that. It's a psychological state. It's a quality of mood. But it works by being unpleasant. So when we feel fear, then we want to then get away from that place or that situation, that contact that's arousing that fear. So we'll get to a place where we go, we feel comfortable. So that's protecting us. So this is how I think it's important to relate to fear, because we might feel, I'm so anxious, I'm so worried all the time. I wish I never had fear. Fear is a terrible thing. I wish I was never afraid of anything. But even though that's understandable, we might feel, I don't want to have this unpleasant mental state. Just like physical pain, we might feel, I never want to feel pain. But if we were numb in that way, or if we didn't have physical pain, then we would very easily succumb to illnesses or injuries, and the body would be heavily compromised, endangered, and great sickness or death would ensue. So similarly, with fear, it's not the nature of fear itself that is intrinsically a problem or a defilement, but it's really how the mind relates to it. So I feel that's a very important thing to understand. Particularly because we're human beings, we remember and we can imagine. So we remember the past, we can look back and recreate images and feelings of the past. We can look into the future. We can create imagined futures. What might happen next week or next month? What's going to happen with the coronavirus next week, next month? What's the news today? How many more cases? How many people have died? Is it spreading? Is it getting worse? Is it leveling out? What's happening? We can imagine the future. We can project. And so this is where I would say a lot of the real dukkha, the suffering around fear and pain arises. It's through the unskillful use of memory and imagination that the mind creates images of the past, the future, and gets lost in them. And so this is where the stressful quality, the real suffering from fearful states, anxious states, arises. It's the mind's grasping of them, and that grasping is almost always tied up with those feelings of me and mine, I and me and mine, the ahankara, the I am feeling, the mamankara, the mine feeling. That's almost always what happened to me in the past. What was my problem? How things were bad and difficult for me. What happened last week or last year, and what might happen to me next week, or what's going to happen next year to me. How's my life going to be? So in terms of our practice, I feel fear is a useful thing. So like the precautions that we've instituted here at Amravati, help encouraging people to keep clean hands, to cough and to sneeze mindfully, and to not be endangering each other or spreading any infections around unnecessarily. That's based on fear, but it's an appropriate fear. It's useful fear. It's a kind of a wise fear that we want to make sure. We want to be careful. We want to be respectful of the way that nature works, and so that it's a skillful use of that mental state without letting it get beyond the bounds of the present moment and what's appropriate, what's necessary, so that we can use that concern, that care. We can apply it. We can take what steps are necessary, and then let go. You do what you can, and what you can't do, you don't make a problem out of. This is, I feel, the most skillful attitude that we can each of us cultivate with respect to this. With our practice, then, I feel in terms of the meditation, it's very, very helpful to be consciously paying attention to what the mind creates, and so that if it's dwelling on fear and anxiety, what's going to happen in this moment? That is a feeling of anxiety. The mind imagines a possible future, and then absorbs into that possibility. So to see that happening and to name it, to say, here is the mind creating an image of the future. It feels like this. There's this emotional tone to it. There's this tension or this ache in the heart. This is the feeling of fear. It's like this. It feels this way. You're not going to make it sweet or pleasant, but you're going to know in this moment, here is the feeling of fear. This is a feeling of anxiety. This is the mind creating an image of an imagined future, and here is the emotion that goes with it. Ow! It feels like this. So in that moment, it's just that much. It's just that painful emotional feeling. No more, no less. We don't have to get rid of it. We don't have to suppress it. We don't have to believe in it. But if it's known in this moment for what it is, then that there's a quality of real mindfulness and wisdom established in relationship to that. Part of this whole process also is, and the presence of such an illness, an epidemic around the world. Part of the considerations around that, as we do regularly, we have these the 5 subjects for frequent recollection that the teachings encourage us to bring to mind. I am of the nature to age, I am of the nature to sicken, I am of the nature to die. All that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will become otherwise, will become separated from me. I am the owner of my karma, heir to my karma, born of my karma, related to my karma, abide supported by my karma. Whatever karma I shall do, for good or for ill, of that I will be the heir. So we have these daily reflections, and we can recite the words, and yet when it really comes home to us with a living actuality, like this brand new disease spreading around the world and infecting people very easily, also the news that it can infect animals, also that news that someone has recovered from it and then got it again so that it can recur. These can feel like, I'm of the nature to sicken. Oh, but not that. Oh dear, that's not fair. Or it shouldn't be that way. Or we must have an antidote, a vaccine. Surely something to stop that happening. That can't be right. So all of that this has got to be stopped, or this can't be happening, or oh dear, not that. These are all very natural, again, self-based, instinctual reactions to the actuality of anicca, of uncertainty, and the organic and dependent nature of this life of ours. The very fabric of our physical existence, this physical body, is a staggeringly complicated and intricate system of processes that work in an amazingly efficient and well integrated way. Even those of us who feel we have illnesses or difficulties and have obstructions or medication we have to take, or physical obstacles of one kind or another, even so, it's incredible how complicated the body is, and that any of our bodies work as well as they do is somewhat miraculous. I was just given a copy of Bill Bryson's most recent book, simply called The Body. I think it's the subtitle is A User's Manual, or a guidebook for occupants, something like that. And he's a very good writer, and makes complex subjects or a lot of, can convey a lot of information in a very readable and accessible way. And he's always a great champion for when he does his popular history or science or books and those kind of things. He's a great champion for the underdogs, or people who worked really hard in some field, whether it was in medicine or science or archaeology, and they worked for years and years, and then had all their data stolen by somebody else, and then the person who stole all the data or stole their projects then become famous and remembered. Bill Bryson's very good at doing the research and finding out who really did the work, who really made the discoveries, and raising people's names up to be recognized and honored. Anyway, I recommend this as a very readable and interesting book, as a different approach to contemplation of the body and its many parts, and particularly the extraordinarily intricate and dependent nature of the body, how all the different parts have to work in relationship to each other, and how fragile and how marvelous and complex, and see how well ordered the whole system is. And when you really bring your mind to the body and its workings and all the different organs in this kind of a way, you really look at it and contemplate it, think it through, then the fact of disease becomes far more natural. Well, it's amazing that we don't have more infections. That the whole way that the immunological process, how the body protects itself from invasion, is amazing. How it looks after its own fabric is extraordinary. How it determines which are the helpful bacteria and which are the obstructive ones. The whole process is quite marvelous. And the way that nature works is that within the whole field of the living world, the living system, there's a constant, incessant evolution of bacteria and viruses and microscopic creatures and such like that are developing all the time. So it's amazing that these kind of illnesses and epidemics don't happen more often. And it's amazing that our bodies can be resilient enough to protect themselves at all. So reading these kind of things, I feel it's very much in accord with the Buddha's teaching, because I feel that those are reflections. I'm of the nature to age, I'm of the nature to sick, and I'm of the nature to die, and so forth. They are helping us to have a realistic perspective, to not take for granted that I should be protected, or I should be healthy, or I should be comfortable, or my eyes, my ears, and my digestion should continue to work indefinitely. My legs should be continually able to carry the body around. I should be able to think clearly, should be able to remember things, should be able to use my voice or my other faculties. And and as with those reflections that the Buddha offered, when you really look at how the body works, it helps really bring it home that we shouldn't take anything for granted. The system is so complex and so fragile. We should be rather grateful that it works as well as it does, and to not be complacent, to not take for granted that it will continue to work. So that is threatening to the ego, that's threatening to the habits of self-view that want to have everything as I like and according to my preferences and my presumptions, what is familiar to me, what I like, to be able to see and hear and move and think and to taste and smell and touch and digest and have energy and clarity in the mind and so forth. But it helps us to recognize, well, enjoy it for today or this moment, because tomorrow it can be gone. So if that is really taken to heart in a skillful way, even though that might challenge the ego and the habits of self-view, there's in that, say, appreciation of the reality of things, then there's a quality of relief. That the Buddha, when he encouraged those reflections, he wasn't trying to make us feel anxious or intimidated or neurotic, paranoid, but rather his intention in encouraging those reflections is to enable us to be realistic and to learn how not to be complacent, not to take things for granted, not to make assumptions. And that's really the different way, it points directly at the different way that the mind can, say, appreciate that the fact of nature, that everything is in a state of change, everything is uncertain. The anicca, the truth of anicca, of change, of uncertainty. When uncertainty is appreciated on a basis of ego, of self-view, of sakkaya ditthi, then change, anicca, is threatening. It's dangerous. I don't want to lose the things that I've got. What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to the things that are precious to me? I don't want it to change. I want to be sure of how things are going to be. I'm going to make sure that things don't change. I'm going to do everything I can to keep that danger, that threat away. I'm not going to let it happen. This can't happen to me. This can't happen to my people, my things, what's precious to me. And that's natural enough, but not everything that's natural is liberating. So that self-centered perspective, even not just caring for this individual, but in a sense the people that we're related to, our family or our population, and that sense of no, I can't let this happen. This is us. This is terrible. This can't be allowed. That always brings a sense of threat and danger, and there is dukkha that comes from that, because that is the quality of fear, and fear being attached to. I'm going to lose this. I don't want this to happen. This can't be allowed. This is unbearable. So then, when the mind clings to uncertainty on a basis of self-view, dukkha is always the result. It's a direct path to creating dukkha. If we follow the Buddha's advice and the advice of our great teachers, Luang Por Sumedho, Luang Por Cha, and the teachings of other countless elders over the generations, the encouragement is to deliberately put the attention onto anicca, to develop the anicca sanya, rather than say attaching to that uncertainty on a basis of self-view, to let go of self-view, to not let the mind be dominated by those ego-centered habits, but rather to cultivate that quality of realism, seeing things in terms of nature rather than in terms of me and mine. So when the heart appreciates the natural order, like looking at the body and its workings, how it all fits together, then we and developing that sense of the changing, uncertain, fragile nature of the whole natural system, then rather than that appreciation of uncertainty leading to fear and suffering, you still don't know what's going to happen. There's still a not knowing of what things are going to turn into. But when that quality of nature is appreciated, free of self-view, then the emotional tone is that of wonderment, the sense of mystery, that there isn't that quality of dukkha, of stressing, of tensing in the heart. There's a not knowing, but that not knowing is mysterious, it's beautiful. There's a quality of wonder rather than that of dread or of suffering associated with that. Now, speaking in this way, it's important to understand that when we are talking about uncertainty and appreciating it from a view free of self and I and me and mine, that doesn't mean that action isn't taken. So it doesn't mean, okay, so I don't need to wash my hands, or I don't need to. I can just happily just live with whatever bugs come and enter this body and just let it all happen. That's I would say a mistaken understanding. That's not what this quality means. Being free of self-view doesn't mean stupid. Doesn't mean being foolish or just attached to a habit or an idea. But you still take action. You follow the way of looking after the body, looking after the living situation, doing the best you can for harm not to be perpetuated, not to be caused and carried on. But that those actions, those choices are guided by mindfulness and wisdom rather than me and my fears, me and my anxieties. It's rather that, say, the taking of appropriate action is guided by an attentiveness and attunement to the time, the place, the situation. So there's care, there's attention, there's work that's done to help look after the living system and to do the best for suffering to be minimized. But that effort is not based on self-view. It's not me, I have to do this, I should do this, I shouldn't do that, I must, I should. But rather actions are taken and the work is done that is, say, all that can be done to help benefit the living system, but without attachment, without self-view, and without confusion. So particularly in that, if we are going to cultivate mindfulness and wisdom, and particularly with issues like this, then it's not uncommon for people to have particular opinions or points of view, or say, well, I think we shouldn't be doing this, we should be doing that, or that this is totally wrong, we should do it this way, we shouldn't do it that way. And so I would also say be cautious of attaching to your own particular viewpoint and feeling like you understand things better than everybody else, and everybody else has got it wrong. But for with respect to helping to look after things in a skillful way as possible, I would suggest that we pay attention to the information that has been circulated, the people in the community who've been informing themselves. We've been very, very helpfully supported by Dr. Tina Chi and Dr. Randula Hatutoa, particularly giving us advice and connecting us with the NHS resources and the immediate sort of daily information that's available to help us to set up good standards. So I would encourage people to be getting acquainted, getting to know what those standards are, and being ready not to attach to your own particular opinions, and to say get a sense and to follow and see what the community standards are, to follow the community standards, and to abide by that for everyone's benefit. That's very, very helpful, and also conducive to community harmony. The doctors and medical people out there are working hard in many places, trying to find some kind of a cure or a vaccination or some kind of treatment that will help this. But that hasn't happened yet, to my knowledge. But people are working towards that. So I feel just to do what can be done in the time being to help look after things, and to say take care of each other's health is the most important thing. On a practical level for us. The way that illnesses are treated and the appropriate thing to do, that does evolve. And one of the interesting things, reading this Bill Bryson book, I'd read this before, but I was reminded of it, was that up until the middle of the 19th century, it was the idea that doctors or surgeons should wash their hands before treating a patient or doing surgery was unheard of. And there was a doctor called Dr. Ignaz Semmelweis came up with this unique idea that it might be a good idea to wash your hands and to have clean equipment and clean clothing before you did surgery, or you helped women to give birth to their babies. He was considered a sort of an extremist nutcase in his time. The idea that, what kind of an idiot are you that you should wash your hands? In those days, apparently, if you were a surgeon, it was a kind of badge of office. If you had an apron that was covered in kind of dried blood and goop of many years standing, that was like, okay, this person, this guy really knows his stuff. He's got his sort of, he's been around for a long time. His 25 years of goop has accumulated on his apron. That he really knows his business. So that was like when you saw the doctor coming to your bedside, and this apron was stiff with several generations of dried blood and gunk. You think, oh, okay, this is a really good doctor. He really knows his stuff. I mean, I'm in good hands here. So we're very fortunate that Dr. Semmelweis is probably responsible for saving many more human lives than quite a large number of other very well respected and say admired people, and that finally became adopted as a basic standard once they realized that the mortality rate of the babies in the natal unit was much reduced. The more children survived, and less of the mothers died of childbed fever and infections and such like. But finally, after a couple of decades, people began to pay attention, and now we know it's a good idea for doctors to have clean equipment, wash their hands, and not have their surgical gear covered with dried blood and gunk. So understanding evolves, and people are, say, learning as they go along what is going to be helpful. But I would, going back to just taking care of this community, just take this opportunity with a large number of the Sangha gathered here for us to bring attention to the community standards and to do our best to look after each other in being attentive to those standards and to minimize the risk of infection for each other's benefit. The core of the investigation or the purpose of developing the anicca sanya is it's really, I feel, summed up in words of Luang Por Chah, which was a very, very common theme, very regular theme for him. And he would say things like, if you seek for certainty in that which is uncertain, you're bound to suffer. If you seek for security in that which is insecure, you're bound to suffer. You're looking in the wrong place. You're looking for something in a place where it is not. It's like if you have you've left the keys. If I've left the keys to the office in my yam, and I'm looking for them in the monk's reception room, I won't find them there because they're not there. I'm looking for my keys in the wrong place. No matter how hard I look in the monk's reception room, I won't find them because they're not there. So, and this is exactly the kind of example Luang Por Chah would give. So, if you're looking for security in a place where it is not, you can work day and night, and you can put a huge amount of time and energy and effort, but you won't find it. If you look for security in that which isn't secure, if you look for certainty in that which can't be certain, then you have to be disappointed. It can't work. So when we find the mind moving towards wanting to be sure about things, wanting to be sure about our body, or be sure about what say is how things are going to be in the future, or whether we're going to have this kind of an event, or whether things are going to work out with this particular project or for this person's well-being, we don't know. We can't be sure. So that letting go of looking for certainty where things are uncertain, just noticing that habit of saying, "Oh, I'm trying to be sure about something which can't be sure. I'm trying to be say." Encouraged or feel at ease about something which can't be certain, can't be fixed, then that say relinquishment is something that it requires moment by moment attention, because those habits are very strong for us. The way that the mind is complacent, it takes things for granted, it assumes it's going to be this way, or I'm going to get that result, or this person always does this, or this is the way it always goes. We should be able to expect that. Say, to see the mind doing that and say, no, it's not a sure thing. It's not we don't know what's on the other side of that door. We don't know what's going to happen next week. We don't know whether that bug's going to arrive. We don't know whether we're going to hold the Luang Por Sumedho open retreat. We want to, we're still planning to, but will it happen? Don't know. Yeah. So that seeing of that outflowing tendency of the mind, trying to have something to be predictable, trying to have something sure, to see that and say, no, it's not a sure thing, it's not a sure thing, it's not a sure thing. That's the first part. And then say, restraining the mind from trying to invest in and find security in that which is unstable, that is, say, not looking in the wrong place, but then where can we find security? Where can we find stability? Where is that quality of certainty to be found? Is it findable? Is there something that is certain? What is the quality that is reliable? So that when we talk about letting go of that search or that effort or that habit of trying to seek certainty, then if we're just left with self-view and nothing to hang on to, then there's still a lot of dukkha. But in essence, what the main, say, purpose, or the purpose and the result of vipassana meditation, insight meditation, is it's establishing certainty where it can be found, where there is a refuge, and this is why we talk of Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha as a refuge. That's where there is security, that's where there is stability, that is what is reliable. That's why they're the sarana, the tisarana, the three refuges, or the three jewels. So that when we look at this and consider this in terms of meditation and vipassana meditation in particular, if we say the three jewels are what is reliable or what is certain, it's not just the words Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. They're just conditioned objects. It's just three words, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. They're just sounds. They're just ideas. So it's not just the idea of Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. It's not just the words of Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. These are not the refuge, but it's the actual quality that those words are referring to. That is what is the genuine sarana, or the foundation of stability, of reliability, that which is sure, that which is certain, that which is the ground of reality. It's also interesting how the Buddha, in the Buddha's teaching, we use the words refuge and jewel as interchangeable. So the image or the symbol of a jewel is something that is beautiful, is something that is stable. I mean, obviously, stones like diamonds and rubies, they're just material elements that are also in a state of change. But it's in terms of symbolism, a jewel is something that is hard, it's durable, it's beautiful, it's valuable, has a symmetry to it. There is, and these are the qualities that the Buddha was evoking or bringing into our attention when speaking about the refuges. These qualities, they're beautiful, they're naturally beautiful, they're naturally valuable, they're naturally reliable. Essentially, when we are developing the practice of vipassana, this is the direct work of strengthening, clarifying that quality of awareness, the mind that knows this moment, that hears this, that knows the sounds of these words, that knows the feelings of the weight of your body on the cushion or the chair, the feeling of the clothing on your skin, the sensations of heat or coolness, sleepiness or clarity, comfort or discomfort. That quality of awareness is, that is the Buddha refuge. That is the awake, aware quality. That is the refuge. And insight meditation is, strengthening, clarifying. It's directly pointed towards the clarifying and strengthening of that quality of awareness, and enabling that awareness to disentangle, to not be identified or in a state of attachment to the objects. So that which knows sound is not a sound, that which knows sensation is not a sensation, that which knows a thought is not a thought. This quality of awareness is intrinsically unentangled. It's not, identified with the objects of awareness. This is why liberation is possible. This is the foundation of vipassana, of insight meditation. that which knows the five khandhas of form, feeling, perception, mental formations, consciousness, is not part of the five khandhas. It knows the five khandhas arising and passing away. It knows body and mind, the aspects of body and mind, the perceptions and thoughts and feelings. It knows them arising and passing away, but it is not them. It's not identified with them. If that quality of awareness, this very knowing ability of this heart of ours, if that was intrinsically part of the five khandhas, liberation from the five khandhas would be impossible. Liberation from birth and death would be impossible. But because this quality of knowing, this awakened awareness, this Buddha refuge, is a quality that is intrinsically transcendent. It's liberated from the five khandhas. Then that means that if that is clarified, if that, say, that non-identification, non-entanglement is realized, then in this very moment the heart is awake and is freed. That's the essence of this practice. This is the liberating quality of this practice, so that we are in the moment that the heart disentangles, there is freedom from clinging. In that moment, that Buddha wisdom is clarified. It might just be for a brief time, a few seconds or half a second, just a moment of non-clinging. But in that moment, the mind is awake. It knows feeling, but it is not identified with that feeling. It knows fear, but it's not associated with that fear. It can know heat and coldness, comfort and discomfort. It can know the feelings of the breath and the feelings of happiness or sadness, but it is not entangled with those. It's not identified with those. It's free. It's awake. It's aware. It knows, and it's unburdened by those qualities, whether they're coarse or fine, pleasant or unpleasant, coming from inside or outside, whether it's a thought or a sound or something that we see or smell or taste or touch. Then that quality is, it knows them, it's aware of them, but it is not limited by those qualities. That which knows perception isn't limited by perception. That which knows all of the aspects of this person isn't a person. It's not male or female, old or young. It's not a monastic or lay. It's not Buddhist. It's awake. It's aware. It knows. So this is why it's a jewel. This is why it's precious. It's the most valuable and the most reliable of qualities, because the more that the practice is developed, the more it's realized that even if there's agitated or busy or noisy or painful or really exciting or shocking or delightful perceptions, then the more the practice is developed, the more that, there's that delightfulness, there's that excitement, there's that deliciousness or that disastrous event, but that which knows it is not defined by that. It's not limited by that. It's not burdened by that. It knows it, but it's attuned to it. It knows the world, but it's not limited by the world. It's not carrying the world around. So this is, say, the other side, or the fulfillment of that development of the anicca sanya. So rather than letting the mind get born into anxiety and fear, getting born into that sort of that tense state and just trying to get away from it by distracting the mind or numbing the mind or just as a switching off or putting our attention on something else, that it brings the attention to that. Developing the anicca sanya, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where things are going to go, and that doesn't have to be a cause of suffering. That doesn't have to be something that is burdensome or painful or difficult. Doesn't mean we become numb or foolish or don't take steps to look after our lives and the lives of others. But as we take care, as we bring attention to the flow of pleasant and painful neutral experiences, then the heart is awake and open, limitless, responsive. It's not needing any particular outcome in order to be free, in order to be at ease, in order to do what needs to be done. When we think of the three refuges, then I feel it's good to bear this in mind, and that the Dhamma is the fabric of reality, and then that's the refuge of the integrative principle of all things, of the universe, mental, physical, spiritual, that which integrates, that which upholds. That's what Dhamma literally means. It means that which integrates, that which upholds, that which supports. So the Dhamma is the fabric, the substance of reality, and then the Buddha, that quality of knowing, buddhi, the quality of awakened, aware, knowing, that is the function of Dhamma. The activity of Dhamma is to know, to be awake, to be aware. And when that knowing is say active and is say actualized in relationship to this life and the experience of the sense world, then what arises is Sangha. That's the way that knowing, the result of that knowing, that awakened awareness of the world, is Sangha, which is wholesome, which symbolizes wholesome action, that which is say beneficial, wholesome, liberating, that which is say intrinsically in tune with reality and say inclined towards what is noble, what is say of the greatest benefit. This is not to say be becoming inflated or thinking about ourselves just because we're wearing a robe and have a shaved head that we are the manifestation of all that's good in the world, but rather as an internal quality. When I describe the inner quality of Sangha, it's really that when that quality of awakened awareness is active, then what that say that informs the intentions to do good. And I say that refuge in Sangha, or the Sangha refuge as an inner quality, is that voice in the heart which loves the good. It's called the guna dhamma, or the quality of virtue in the heart, that in the heart which loves the good, that rejoices in unselfishness, that rejoices in harmony, that rejoices in generosity and respectful and compassionate behavior, that which delights in goodness. That is the Sangha jewel. But when we say develop the practice in this way, we find certainty, we find reliability. That quality of knowing is always available. Doesn't matter how chaotic the field of perceptions is, what's going on in sound and color and form and shape or feelings of the body. You can be hallucinating, you can have a fever of 105, you can have a broken leg, but that which knows the broken leg is not broken. That which knows the fever isn't feverish. That which knows hallucinations isn't hallucinating. It knows the hallucination, the weird mind state or the weird imagery, but it is not bound by that. It's not born into that. It's not the owner of that. It knows it, but it's not burdened by that. So we find, not as a belief system, we're not saying I'm hanging on to Buddha Dhamma Sangha as another perception just to try and make that a permanent perception. No. The real Buddha refuge is not a perception. It's a quality of the heart that's independent of circumstances. It's independent of external conditions. It's free and say reliable, and something that is say there is the potential to know that, to actualize that, to embody that in this very life of ours. And this is why we practice. This is why we live together and spend so much time, say, on the cushion or on the walking path, bringing attention moment by moment, day by day, to clarify this quality and to know for ourselves that reliability, that this is where certainty can be found. This is where, say, stability. This is where strength and genuine value and meaning can be found. It's not in the sense world, not in the field of thought and perception, emotion, imagination, not even in blissful, concentrated mind states, but only in this quality of awakened awareness, and that is to be discovered, to be realized by each of us. And but when we do, when that is actualized, when that is known within the heart, there's a certainty in that. The heart knows, okay, this is always here. This is always available. This is reliable. This can be, say, ever present. It's not anything that goes away. It can be overlaid by dullness or distraction, but that quality of awareness is always here, right at the very basis of experience. It's the very ground of all experiencing. It can't be lost. It is a foundation. It is a true sadhana, a refuge. So I offer these words for consideration this evening.
हिंदी में सारांश बता देता है। आज की देशना का मुख्य उद्देश्य था अनिश्चितता को समझना। तो उन्होंने पहली मुख्य बात ये कही कि जो भय इस समय परिस्थिति जैसी है, उसके कारण जो भय है, उसको भय हमेशा ही कोई अकुशल चित्त की चेतना नहीं होता, क्योंकि भय जो है अगर वो राग दोष और मोह के साथ जुड़ जाए, अहम के साथ जुड़ जाए, मैं के भाव के साथ जुड़ जाए, तब वो अकुशल होता है। वरना भय जो है एक हालांकि अप्रिय परिस्थिति पैदा करता है, लेकिन वो हमारी प्रोटेक्शन के लिए है, हमारे सर्वाइवल के लिए होता है। कि जैसे एक शेर आ रहा है और अगर हम हमेशा भय नहीं आएगा, जागेगा, तो हम गलत काम कर जाएंगे और शेर से हानि हो जाएगी। तो इसलिए ये हमारी जो इवोल्यूशन प्रोसेस थी, उसमें एक सर्वाइवल मैकेनिज्म है, जिससे कि हम अपने आप की सुरक्षा बनाए रख सकते हैं। इसी तरह से दर्द है, वो भी एक तरह का सुरक्षा का मैकेनिज्म है, क्योंकि अगर चोट लग जाए और दर्द ना हो तो उसमें एंटीसेप्टिक भी हो जाएगा और हमें पता नहीं चलेगा। तो ये बात भी पहली एक महत्वपूर्ण बात है कि डर को हम हमेशा एक अकुशल चित्त की चेतना न माने। हाँ, अगर हम उसको सती उपन्या के साथ देखेंगे, समझ के इस काम करेंगे, तो वो हमारे लिए एक प्रोटेक्शन का तरीका बनता है। तो उन्होंने कहा कि हम जब साधना करते हैं इस समय, आजकल के मौके समय में जब इतना भय बैठा है, तो हमको देखना चाहिए कि मन कैसे प्रपंच क्रिएट करता है भय के ऊपर, और उसको देखेंगे तो उससे दूरी बन जाएगी और वो उतना भाव पे हावी नहीं हो पाएगा। इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम जो सामान्य प्रैक्टिकल बातें हैं उन पर ध्यान नहीं देंगे, वो तो करेंगे प्रैक्टिकल बातों को, जो भी जैसे इस समय जैसे सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग, दवाई, सफाई रखना, ये सब बातें होती हैं। लेकिन जो भय है, जो जिसके कारण से मन व्यथित रहता है, वो काफ़ी कम हो जाता है। मन में अप्रिय फीलिंग रहेगी लेकिन व्यथा नहीं होगी। उन्होंने बताया, जैसे फिर उदाहरण दिए कि जैसे हम 5 फ्रीक्वेंटली रिकलेक्शन के लिए करते हैं, हम जरोहोमी, जरा धम्मोमी, मरण धम्मोमी, व्याधि धम्मोमी, जब हम कहते हैं तब तो क्योंकि हम स्वस्थ होते हैं तो हमें महसूस नहीं होता, लेकिन अब जब सचमुच में भय लगता है, आशंका लगती है कि शायद हमें हो जाए, तब मालूम पड़ता है कि कितना मुश्किल हो जाता है। लेकिन वो भी जब भी ऐसा हो तो उसको भी जान लें। और ऐसा होगा जब समय आएगा साधना करते में तो कि धीरे धीरे देखेंगे जब आत्मभाव नहीं होगा, और तो जो भय है वो एक वाइज कंडीशन, एक समझदारी का भय होगा, जिससे कि हम अपने को सुरक्षित रख सकें, ना कि जिससे मन हमारा व्यथित हो। तो संक्षेप में उन्होंने यही कहा कि अगर अनिश्चितता है, जो अनसर्टेनिटी है, वो अगर माया के भाव से रहेगी तो फिर वो थ्रेटनिंग लगती है और वो बहुत हमको परेशान करती है। लेकिन अगर वो धर्म के साथ रहेगी, सतीपन्या के साथ रहेगी, तो हम उसको वास्तविकता मानेंगे और उसको अनिश्चित संज्ञा को डेवलप करेंगे, तो वो हमारे भले के लिए ही होगा, क्योंकि उससे हम अप्रोप्रिएट रिस्पॉन्स भी दे पाएंगे और मन में व्यथा नहीं आएगी। तो इस बात पे फिर उन्होंने कहा क्या ऐसा है कि कोई भी चीज़ सर्टन नहीं है इस संसार में? क्योंकि अगर हम कोई भी सर्टन नहीं है फिर तो हमेशा हमारे लिए सफरिंग ही होगी, दुखी होगा। और जो हम कहते हैं अनात्म की बात जब कहते हैं तो उसमें भी कोई आलम्बन तो हमारे लिए मिलता नहीं है। तो उन्होंने ध्यान दिलाया कि जब हम कहते हैं बुद्ध धर्म और संघ की शरण जाएंगे तो वो सच्ची शरण है, और उसके उन्होंने गहराई से समझाया वो सच्ची शरण क्यों। ऐसा नहीं कि भगवान बुद्ध जो हिस्टोरिकल बुद्धा थे वो आके हमारे को कुछ से सेव करेंगे, लेकिन जो बुद्धो शब्द है, जो उनके गुण हैं बुद्ध के, धर्म के, संघ के, वो अगर गुण हम अडॉप्ट करेंगे तो वो सचमुच में हमको सच्ची शरण देंगे। और इसमें सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है जो अवेकन्ड अवेयरनेस की, बुद्धो जिसको बुद्ध को, भगवान बुद्ध को कहते हैं कि वो जागृत थे। तो जो हमारे अंदर जो क्षमता है जागृत होने की, और जो एक सहज रूप से हमारे में चेतना है जो कि अपने उसकी चेतना में जो भी प्रकट होता है उससे भिन्न है, अगर हम साधना ठीक से करें, विपश्यना साधना का मुख्य उद्देश्य यही है कि जो चेतना है, जो अवेयरनेस है, उसको हम उसके कंटेंट से भिन्न करके देख पाएँ, उसको अनटेंगल ना हो। क्योंकि जब वो कंटेंट्स में जैसे जो भी चेतसिक जागता है, मन की वृत्तियाँ जागती हैं, उसमें वो फंस जाता है तो हमको दुख होता है। अगर हम साधना ठीक से करेंगे तो उससे डिसेंगलमेंट हो जाएगी, उसको हम अलग देख पाएंगे, अवेकन्ड अवेयरनेस को और उसके कंटेंट्स को। तो कंटेंट चाहे कुछ भी हो, राग हो, द्वेष हो, भय हो, तो हम उसको अलग देखेंगे। और राग को देखने वाला चित्त भी राग से नहीं युक्त होता, वो निष्प्रह रहता है, बिल्कुल शांत रहता है। जो भय का देखने वाला चित्त भी जो है, भय को अगर हम देखते हैं सती से तो सती भयभीत नहीं होती, और राग को देखते हैं तो सती राग से रंजित नहीं होती। तो इस तरह से जितना हम अभ्यास करेंगे, अनित्य संज्ञा को डेवलप करेंगे, और हमारी साधना ऐसी होगी कि हम जो शुद्ध चित्त की चेतना है, जो प्योर अवेयरनेस है, उसको उसके कंटेंट से अलग करके देख पाएँ, तो जो एक रिफ्यूज और शरण की बात आती है वो हमारे लिए सच्ची शरण है। और इसी तरह से जब वो हम कर पाते हैं तो धर्म को ठीक से समझ पाते हैं, वो एक सच्ची शरण बनता है। धर्म का मतलब है कि जो वास्तविकता है वो क्या है, और संघ का मतलब है कि जब हम उस वास्तविकता को जानते हैं तो जो हमारे अंदर गुण आते हैं वो संघ के गुण हैं। तो इस प्रकार उन्होंने समझाया कि बुद्ध धर्म और संघ की संघ को की शरण को अगर हम ठीक से समझ जाएंगे और उस हिसाब से साधना करेंगे तो हमें सच्ची शरण मिलेगी और अनिश्चितता भी हमें परेशान नहीं करेगी। घुट गई कि नहीं गया? हम ब्रह्म विहारों के साधना करते हैं। पहले मैत्री ब्रह्म विहार, रोज की भांति अपने प्रति, फिर प्रियजनों के प्रति, फिर आरक्षण करने वाले देवताओं के प्रति, और फिर अंत में सभी प्राणियों के प्रति कोशिश करें उनको भी इंक्लूड करने की जिनके प्रति किसी भी कारण से रोष है, नाराज़गी है। अवेरो होमि अव्यापज्जो होमि अनीगो होमि सुखी अत्तानं परिहरामि मम माता पितु आचार्या च ज्ञातिमित्ता च स ब्रह्मचारिणो च अवेरा होन्तु अव्यापज्जा होन्तु अनीगा होन्तु सुखी अत्तानं परिहरन्तु. So we can visualize our friends, relatives, आरक्षा देवता, मुमट्ठा देवता, रुखट्ठा देवता, आकाशट्ठा देवता अवेरा होन्तु अव्यापज्जा होन्तु अनीगा होन्तु सुखी अत्तानं परिहरन्तु. अब सभी प्राणियों के प्रति, चाहे दूर हों, पास हों, सूक्ष्म हों, स्थूल हों, देवलोक के हों या निरयलोक के हों, मनुष्य लोक के हों, पुरुष हों, स्त्री हों, सब्बे सत्ता सब्बे पाना सब्बे भूता सब्बे पुद्गला सब्बे अत्ता भाव परियापन्ना सब्बा इत्थियो सब्बे पुरुषा सब्बे अरिया सब्बे अनरिया सब्बे देवा सब्बे मनुष्या सब्बे विनिपातिका अवेरा होन्तु अव्यापज्जा होन्तु अनीगा होन्तु सुखी अत्तानं परिहरन्तु. अब करुणा ब्रह्म विहार. सभी प्राणी जो कष्ट में हैं, परेशानी है, दुख में है किसी भी कारण से, इस महामारी के कारण या अन्य कारणों से, उन सबका जिसको हम पर्सनली जानते हो उनको याद कर सकते हैं ताकि मन में करुणा का भाव जागे और उनकी स्वास्थ्य लाभ के लिए, उनसे दुख मुक्ति के लिए हम शुभेच्छा प्रकट करें. सवीतियो विभजन्तु शोको रोगो विनश्यतु माते भवतु अन्तरायो सुखी दीर्घायुको भव सुखी दीर्घायुको भव सुखी दीर्घायुको भव. अब कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन, आभार उन सभी भाई बहनों का जो विषम परिस्थिति में रोगियों की सेवा में लगे हैं, आवश्यक वस्तुएं प्रदान करने में लगे हैं, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर बनाए रखने में लगे हुए हैं, सबके प्रति आभार। सभी स्वस्थ रहें, सुरक्षित रहें और कृतज्ञता के रूप में अपने पुण्यों को उनसे साझा करते हैं। थोड़ी देर हम पुण्यानुस्मृति भी कर सकते हैं और फिर उसके बाद पुण्य साझा करने की एक गाथा कह सकते हैं। पुण्यानुस्मृति अर्थात जो भी पुण्य हमने आज तक किए हैं उनको याद कर सकते हैं। पुण्यस्य इदानि याना अन्यानि कथानि मे ते संच भागिनो हन्तु सत्तानन्तपमानका। अमृता ब्रह्म व्यवहार, उन सबके सुख में, खुशी में हम भी शामिल होते हैं जो अपने कर्मों के, कुशल कर्मों के राइप होने से सुख का अनुभव कर रहे हैं। जिनको हम पर्सनली जानते हों उनको याद भी कर सकते हैं और जनरली जो लोग, हज़ारों लोग रोग से मुक्त हुए हैं, उनकी खुशी में शामिल हो सकते हैं। विश्व भी उनकी प्रसन्नता बनी रहे, सुख संपत्ति बनी रहे, ऐसी शुभकामना। यथानंदा संपत्तितो मा विगच्छन्तु। अंत में उपेक्षा ब्रह्म विहार। सुख दुख, लाभ हानि, जय पराजय में हमारी चित्त की समता बनी रहे, चित्त कंपायमान न हो। हम सबकी भगवान की वाणी को याद करके ऐसा संभव हो पाता है कि जो कुछ भी हो रहा है हमारे अपने कर्मों का फल ही है। तो उनकी वाणी को दोहराते हैं। कम्मस्य का कम्मदायादा कम्म योनि कम्म बंधु कम्म पटिसर्ण यं कम्मं करिष्यन्ति कल्याणं वा पापकं वा तस्य दायादा भविष्यन्ति। और उपेक्षा को प्रबल बनाने के लिए, उसका बहुलीकरण करने के लिए हमारी प्रज्ञा स्थिर होनी चाहिए, दृष्टि सम्यक हो, ताकि हमसे कोई गलत काम ना हो जिसके रहते चित्त की समता टूट जाए। तो सबके लिए शुभकामना करते हैं सभी प्राणियों की कि सुखी रहें, दृष्टि उनकी सम्यक हो ताकि कोई पाप काम न कर पाए। सर्वे सत्ता सुखी होन्तु, सर्वे होन्तु चखेमिनो, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कञ्चित् पापमागमात्, मा कञ्चित् शोकमागमात्, मा कञ्चित् दुःखमागमात्। Bhavatu Sarvamangalam Rakkantu Sarvadevata Sarvabudhanubhavena Sada Sotti Bhavantu Te Bhavatu Sarvamangalam Rakkantu Sarvadevata Sarvadhammanubhavena Sada Sotti Bhavantu Te Bhavatu Sarvamangalam Rakkantu Sarvadevata Sarvasanghanubhavena Sada Sotti Bhavantu Me. Arhan Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhan Bhagavantam Abhivademi Sakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammam Namassami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham